Spreadsheet Success Session. As you may all know, Poshmark is a very data-driven company. Our app has progressed over the years and we've introduced several new tools and features, but our goal remains the same, and it's to understand how we can use data to serve our amazing community, you all, in better ways. We are very excited to bring two very talented speakers to you today, Sarah R. and Robin Johnson. Sarah is the founder and CEO of Sarah Styles. She's a mother of three and has been upcycling for 15 years and reselling since 2018. She has a degree in mathematics and an extensive experience in data analytics, including Poshmark data analytics, creating dashboards to make it easy to make sense of your My Sales and My Inventory reports, which is of course the topic of our conversation today. And Robin has worked in the corporate retail supply chain for 16 years. She earned her MBA and has been in retail leadership positions for a long time. She started selling vintage fashion in 2014 as a favorite pastime. And she's always looking for ways to bridge her corporate experience with her love for Poshmark. Well, very warm welcome to both of you. Let's jump right into it. You know, when the times are tough as the ones that we're all living with, data actually becomes a lot more important, right? You can measure, you can see what's happening in real time, and you can get a true assessment of your own business. And that's my first question. How does one overcome the pandemic with Poshmark, and especially with Poshmark data?
Absolutely. So something my data has told me is that offers work well for me. So something I'm doing a little differently during the pandemic is I'm actually being more open to accepting buyers' initial offers. Where in the past I may have countered or I may have even declined. I don't like to decline offers ever. So now I'm accepting those initial offers. If I'm making a good margin on it, it's a win-win for both myself and the customer. So that's something I'm doing. I'm still able to make a profit at the end of the day. So it's working for me during the pandemic.
Awesome.
Yeah, and to Robin's point too, I'm also definitely looking at the data, looking at my offers, and constantly I'm noticing during these times having to check in a lot more often. Things are quickly changing and progressing. You guys caught the trends panel this morning. They were talking about all the new trends and what's happening and checking back in. And something that I've been noticing in my data is my average sale price is going down. People, like Robin said, are wanting bigger offers, better offers, but then also they're spending money, but they're being a little bit more diligent and spending less of their money. So I'm noticing kind of a decline, and I'm pivoting my business to make up for that. I'm continuing to grow my business, but I'm just pivoting it as I'm noticing trends in my business to accommodate what's happening in the world right now.
Awesome. So you all have access to your My Sales and My Inventory reports. Let's hear from Sarah and Robin about how they utilize all this information to understand trends.
Absolutely. So before we jump in and show you all of the very neat things you can do with the sales report and all of your data, we have to start with some fundamentals first. So there are a few things you want to do before you attack data and spreadsheets. So the first thing is you must have good data. So if you think about your business as your garden, think about your raw data as the seeds. You want to have good, healthy seeds to help your business grow. So scrub those reports. Make sure you enter in all of the item attributes, and that's including those optional attributes. So we're talking about categories, brands, colors. Well, Poshmark also gives you this section for additional details. And honestly, that's my favorite section because you have the opportunity to enter in and create SKUs. SKUs are great, not just for inventory tracking and management, but they're also great for analyzing your business later. So when you think about a business that, say, is basic or core, right? You want to create a SKU because you're going to find yourself reordering those items. So you may want to reorder them in a different color, in a different size. If you create a SKU, that will help you track that information and data and make more wise decisions later. There's also cost. there. So we were talking about getting good margins. You want to enter your cost in that field. Your cost is the difference between the item you pay, the price you paid for an item and the price you sell it for. So you want to enter your cost so you can get those gross margins. Then there's also a bonus field. It's the other info field. This field is a free-for-all. I love it because, as we heard in the trends topic, the Poshmark has told us that 90s nostalgia is on the rise, right? Well, my closet is primarily vintage. So in the others field, I can enter in my item decades. So I can put in that field 1960, 1970, 1990, and that will allow me to pull that data and optimize those sales later. Because if people are looking for the 90s, I want to provide the 90s for my customers. If you don't have a business where that would work, you also could use that section for sourcing. So think about it this way. You could use that field to enter in locations of where you're sourcing your goods. So if you are going to discount retailers, if you are going to consigners or manufacturers, you could actually put their name in that field. So you can pull out if my sales are better with a certain specialty retailer or a manufacturer, and that can help you shift and mold your business accordingly, especially during this time. So once you've scrubbed your data, then you want to establish a routine. So how often are you going to run these reports? Are you going to do this daily, monthly, quarterly? How often are you going to pull this data? You want to know this information because you're going to pull your reports and save them off. History and trend are your best friend. So establish some sense of organization, some type of filing system off in your in whatever system you're using so that you can access those reports later. It's going to benefit you in the future. And then lastly, know your desired outcome. So we're telling you this because when you open a spreadsheet and you look at all of those numbers and all of that information, there is such a thing called data analysis paralysis, and it is real. So you will look at that and you're just going to say, eek! I don't know what to do with this information. I don't want anything. I don't want this, right? Well, if you have your desired outcome in mind before you do that, it just makes that more absorbable and easier to work with. So if you want to know bestsellers or what colors are working for me, have that in mind before you sit down and pull those reports. So quick recap, have good data, establish a routine, and know your desired outcome before you jump into this reporting. So now the next slide is a snapshot of the sales report. So your reports can be found under your profile, under My Seller Tools if you're using your mobile app, or under My Sales if you're using your desktop. And your sales report or laptop, and your sales report and inventory report are located under separate links. So this is a snapshot of your sales report. Your sales report provides standard item information, like we said, category, brand, all of that good stuff. It also provides things like net earnings, buyer information, location, all kinds of good stuff that you can use later. The next slide is your inventory report. Your inventory report gives you the same standard item information, but it also includes number of days listed, your number of likes. So your inventory report is a snapshot of your active available items at the time you pulled that report. So it's actionable right now. So if you're thinking about something in the moment, this is your go-to report. Your sales report is what sold during the time you pulled that report. But this is what's actually listed active right now. So both of those used together, you can really make some great reporting. So you do want to use those two reports in order to make strategic decisions for the future of your business.
Yeah, and to Robin's point, it's so amazing that Poshmark has come out with these reports so that we can actually see our data and make actionable goals with it. And I'm a lover of data. Robin is as well, but I understand that not everybody is, nor does everybody know how to manipulate the data to be able to make these actionable goals. And so I love Poshmark and how we can all grow and learn together, and someone has a skill set that they're willing to share. And one of my skill sets is spreadsheets and data. So I've actually created these dashboards where you export from Poshmark, and all you have to do is copy and paste it. And then you get all of these metrics, the metrics that I show here, and then ones that I'm going to be talking about in the presentation as well. So you don't have to have that fear of, I don't know how to use a spreadsheet, I don't know how to do this. You copy and paste it, and then you can have these charts to figure out how to do what you want to do and meet the goals that you want to do. And I also have a YouTube and an Instagram to support you through the process and help you learn and grow so that you're able to use these amazing products that Poshmark gives us in an actionable way for your closet.
Excellent. So thank you both for that. Robin, can you give us some insights into how to use these tools to create your own sales strategies?
Absolutely. So when we think about knowing your desired outcome, right? So I had the question, how much of my business sells at full price? My closet name is Discount Divas. I like to give out discounts. So I was curious, what percent of my business actually sells at full price? So in order for me to pull this chart, I had to pull my sales report. I had to look at columns, bundle, offer, net earnings. I also had to look at the calculations, total by offer, total sales. And then I was able to populate this chart. So if you click on the next button, you'll be able to see that I was able to populate this and see that 12% of my sales were full price. That's it. That weren't a bundle or an offer. Everything else was by an offer or a bundle. So there is a method to my madness. How I'm able to make these decisions is I pull my inventory report. So I look at the columns, number of days and likes, items that have greater than 90 days, right? If I want fresh inventory available for my customers, I'm looking at, okay, what inventory has not moved in a quarter, right? Those are great candidates for offer to likers. I'm also looking at likes. So if I have an item that has, say, more than 10 likes, then there's some traction there, right? People are interested in it. I'm going to action on that one. So this is where I'm able to utilize both reports, make decisions in the moment. So you just don't feel like you're trying to keep up with all the closet clear outs and some offers to likers. You actually have a method behind your madness.
And to Robin's point, I've yet to meet a posher who's like, I have way too much time on my hands. And we're all very busy, whether you're a side hustle posher or this is what you do for a living. Time is money, and you want to be spending your time efficiently. I'm so excited at the hackathon today. I don't know if you guys participated, but they are now letting you filter by likes, which is amazing because you can spend your time wisely and look and see, okay, how do I want to send out these offers? You can look at your buy it nows, your offer to likes, your other offers, so people sending you offers, and figure out strategically how you're going to make those sales and pricing strategies. If you're getting, I'm similar. I only have 12% of my sales are coming from buy it now. So my pricing strategy is going to give a little bit of a cushion for those offers. And my bundles, I try out a new strategy with a bundle. There's so much information on social media. We've all learned a lot of tricks in PoshFest this year and previous years, but you try something out and then you see if it actually works for you by looking at your data. Something different is going to work for everybody. And so I like to try out these new strategies that I hear on social media or, PoshFest, try them out and see how they're working. And then I take it one step further too and look at my average sale price by these. So yes, I'm getting a lot of other offers. My average sale price is $28. I much prefer the $37 average sale price of an OTL, offer to like. So maybe that's something that I do want to focus my time on, spending more time doing offer to likes before someone sends me a low ball type of offer, right? And then into the next page, I like to look at my, oh, back one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Days of the week. So time is money again. You know, Poshmark, number one thing on Poshmark, you want to be sharing your closet. It's very time consuming. I have 900 active listings. So it takes a lot of time to do any of these strategies. And I want to make sure to be spending my time wisely. And so if I have a lot of people that are like, hey, I work a full-time job, and they look at this chart and you can tell that they're not sharing their closet. And so they quickly are like, I'm going to share 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, and automatically they're seeing more sales. Or it helps you take days off. As entrepreneurs, whether it's your side hustle or your full-time job, it's hard to not be on Poshmark all the time, which I'm sure Poshmark loves, but we need time off to rest and rejuvenate. And it's helped me take days off. This chart, Wednesday was one of my low sales days. So I can take some time off on Wednesday and not have that constant fear that I'm going to miss a sale. I'm going to miss a sale, and have strategies in place for the days of the week. And then also closet clear out. It's a great strategy that Poshmark gives us. They give extra discounts. They market to the buyers as well. Try it out. Try a strategy. Becky Parker, she's actually doing the YouTube chat right now. I'm sad I'm going to have to watch the recording, but she has a closet clear out method. Try that method and then come back and see if that method worked for you. Something different is going to work for everyone, but unless you look at your data, your numbers, you're not really going to know if the strategies and what you're spending your time on are working for you. Again, this goes into return customers too on the next sheet. You can look at your customers that are coming back to you. You get your biggest bang for your buck if you can get people to come back to you, because you're not having to constantly go out and market to them. They're going to come back to you. There's lots of different ways. I learned a couple tricks, new tricks on PoshFest this year that I'm going to try out, but they can be time consuming and they can cost money. If you want to spend time, doing thank you notes for all of your customers, that takes your time, and you also have to spend the money on those thank you notes. So do it for 6 months and see if you are getting those customers that are coming back. You can see a couple of things that I've tried and have worked for me. However, I have people who also look at their data and are like, I tried that and it didn't work for me. So they're not doing it, but they know because they tried it and they were checking in with this chart to see their return customers.
So love that. And I wanted to kind of dig back into sometimes charts and data can be overwhelming to those people. That was a point to some people, that was a point we brought out. So there are creative things you can do with your charts and data. Even sometimes pie charts and bar charts seem to be overwhelming. So I wanted to show you a creative way that you can actually still use all of those numbers, all of that scary data sometimes, and use a background image to make it more easy to digest, let's say. So we're going to show you a demo. It's going to go really quick, but what it's going to do is show you how quickly, if charts scare you sometimes, it's going to show you how quickly you can see the information and action from it. This was something I did because I wanted to see how my items sold by category, by state. So here we go. We're going to play this demo for you. So you see tops all over the board, right? Almost every state. Well, then if you switch to sweaters, California, 52% of sweaters in California, right? Of my sales. Then if I go to jackets and coats, okay, spread out, but the East Coast, there's a higher concentration there. I know that was super fast. We only have so much time, but I hope it helps you see that there wasn't a lot of numbers and lines and scary things. It was a map of the USA. You could, again, put any image back there and add points and data, and then just do your drop down, and you're able to see an action to that. It's a time saver once you build it. So on the next slide, we're gonna kind of talk about how you can build something like that on your own. Now, again, we only have 30 minutes. I'm not gonna be able to walk you through how to create this yourself, but what? I am 100% available to any of you. Posh and Coffees are in my future. Please come out, come find me. I'm available. This is what I love to do. I will absolutely love to share this with you so that you can do something like this on your own. But here I have where I use the sales report, what columns were needed, what calculations were needed. And then if you look at how, once you build it, you look at how you can analyze that data, right? So in this case, again, sweaters in California during holiday. Never would have thought that ever. So this information was last year's data, right? So I'm coming into the holiday season. I want to know where I need to focus my energy. So this is a great snapshot because I'm able to action to this quickly. So if you hit the next two buttons, Parinda, I'm able to show you that you can focus your attention on marketing. Now that this information is there, now you can market by demographic. You can focus your Facebook ads and your target audience right there in California. You know, you can spend your advertising dollars wisely and use them there. You know, more than half of your business is there for the category of sweaters. So you take a cute picture of a vintage sweater. In my case, I'm going to spend my $10 wisely and just focus that advertisement on my target audience, which will be California in this case. So this is just another example of different ways you can use your data to make quick, sound decisions after you spend the time to put in a little back-end work in order to drive your business forward.
Yeah, and oh, go ahead. Parinda.
Sorry, no.
I was skipping ahead. I'm so excited to talk data.
No, I was blown away. Did you say you had 700 active listings?
I have 900.
900, my God. So 900 active listings and
all of this that needs to be listed.
Make it sound so easy. You know, one of the things that has taken a hit in these times is the easy availability of inventory. So please share with our audience some creative ways of sourcing inventory in these times.
Yeah, so like I said, I focus on my data and I pivot accordingly. This morning, I'm really excited about this morning session. If you guys didn't catch it, definitely go back and watch it. It is on the YouTube. Lots of really exciting things coming out for resellers, but we also have had a bit of a hardship with the pandemic. I am a mom of 3 kids, so I'm at home remote learning. There's record unemployment this year. We've kind of recovered a little bit, but people are still, you know, being a little bit more frugal with their money. An election year always has an impact on the economy. But what's amazing about what we do and being a small business or a side hustle is you can quickly pivot as needed. I follow my data. I mentioned my ASP was going down. On the next slide, I'm going to go through and show you a couple of things. Thanks. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I like to look at that helps guide me into how I'm going to source and how I'm going to pivot my business. So I'm going to take you guys back to 7th grade math. Bear with me. It's going to be quick. But the 2 things that I like to look at are sell-through rates and your average sale price. So average is going to be, let's say you're on Instagram and someone's like, hey, I bought this at a garage sale for $1 and I sold it for $500. That's not likely their whole business. I know for sure it's not my business. Those are the outliers, the one-offs. On average, how is my inventory selling? I can look at it. I'm going to speak to it in a minute, but the various different ways that I can look at. That's one of the metrics that I like to look at to give me an idea of how my inventory is doing. And then sell-through rates. You have, let's say, a quick example, you have 50 tops, you sold 50 tops in the month of September and you sold 25 jeans. If you stop there, you're going to say tops are killing it for me. Let me go buy a whole bunch of more tops. What your sell-through rate is going to do is going to tell you how much is selling of what you have. So let's say, go back to that example, you have 50 tops, but you have, oh yeah, we're still there, sorry. So you have you sold 50 tops, but you have 200 tops on hand. So you've only sold 25% of your tops. And let's go back to the jeans example. You sold 25 jeans, but you only had 25 jeans on hand. So if you dig a bit deeper and look at your sell-through rates, you're going to see what is selling of what you have. And in this instance, jeans is going to be the better performer for you. So if you want to go to the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about average sell-through rates and or average sale price and sell-through rates and how I use them. This is in the dashboard that I have created. It does all the math for you. I just wanted to give you an idea of what I was talking about. It does that for you. It's going to look at your data, and you can set a goal and say, I want to pay my car payment this month, or hey, I need to make my full salary to pay my mortgage. Wherever you are in your Poshmark journey, you can set that, say, this is what I need to do. It looks at the data, it looks at your average sale prices and your sell-through rates and says, this is what you need to do. It gives you a roadmap to know where you want to go. And once you have that roadmap, on the next slide, you can look at different things to get you there. One is your categories. Look at your categories. Compare your sell-through rates to your average sale price. So you have sell-through rates here, average sale price on the bottom. Anything up in the top right is going to be your specific BOLO categories. So this is what is working for you based off of the stuff that you can source. We don't all have, I'm in Colorado, I'm fortunate to have amazing thrift stores, but not everybody has that available to them. You have to work with what you have. And now you can look at your data and see what is working for you. So you're anything up in this corner, that's going to be your max profit. Stick with those. Those are working. Stick with them. Anything kind of down into the lower right, that's going to be your min profit categories. Things that are either not selling through, so you have a lot on hand and they're not selling through, or they're selling at a low average sale price. And you can take those and say, hey, I'm just not going to worry about that anymore. I don't enjoy selling those categories. I'm not going to do it. Or, hey, I have a little bit of time. I'm going to go into my closet and see, can I improve my SEOs? Can I take better pictures of these? Can I learn BOLO brands in these categories and learn a little bit more about it? When you're looking at your data, though, do proceed with caution and keep in mind seasonality, economic drivers. If you're looking at this chart in, say, June, and pants are down there in your min profit categories, it's June, so it makes sense that maybe they're not selling well. Check back in the fall and in winter and see if that's still the case. So on the next slide, you can look, I look at average sale price, and there's so many different things that you can look at now that you have the metrics to compare to. You can compare average sale price year over year, month over month, by categories, by your subcategories. So Poshmark in the sales report, they give you your subcategories. So you can look at jeans and say, okay, are my boot cuts selling? Are my straight selling? Are my skinnies selling? You know, what in that category is actually selling? Your size data, what sizes are selling? I've noticed for me, it depends on the brand. Certain brands sell, luxury brands tend to sell lower sizes. Bread and butter mall brands tend to sell higher sizes, but I've talked to other people and they don't see the same results in their data. You don't know it until you look at your data. You can look at markets if you're trying to get into home goods or into, I sell mainly women, so I dabble in men's a little bit and use this data to help guide me in how I'm doing. Robin mentioned too, sourcing places in that category. You can put, hey, I got this at the thrift store. I got this at the bins. And then you can look at these metrics and say, is it worth my time to go to the bins, or should I spend my time at the thrift store? And one last note, because we're probably are getting towards the end. Yeah, I like to do my 80-20 rule. I do 80% of things that are working for me, and then I take a risk on the 20% so that I still have my baseline things that I know are working for me.
All right, that was a wealth of information. Thank you all for sharing your great insights. Let's see, we have 1 minute left, so let's see if we can quickly take a question. And
I will say, while you get a question, I am going to go over to the Facebook PoshFest 2020, and there'll be a chat open and you can ask any other questions, because it is full of content. So if people have other questions, I'll be over there answering questions as well.
all right, let's take one question. Are all these tables made through Excel pivot tables?
All of mine were made through Excel, but not pivot tables necessarily. So the examples actually the examples I showed, none of them were pivot tables.
Okay.
Mine are not used through pivot tables because mine's a mass product, so anyone can use it. And a pivot table, you have to refresh every time you use it. And I don't want I didn't want people to have to know Google. I do it in Google Sheets because it's free. I didn't want people to have to know Google Sheets. So mine are very complex formulas and macros.
Yes.
On the back end, yeah.
All right. We are out of time. I wish we had more time to go through a lot of questions, but as you've noted, you can always reach out to both speakers on their social handles, and I'm sure they'd be happy to share more information with you. Thanks for joining, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.